and the non-delivery of services on the ground. So we must not draw that false chasm, because it will be very wrong to think that no, there are other cases at a different level. Let us treat all cases equally and according to legislation, so that we are able to then fulfill the responsibilities that are granted to us. As far as I'm concerned, PP, maybe the people who are here might tell me a different story. There's unanimity amongst all political parties that the report on state capture should be released. So I want to categorically recommend to you that the brief that was given to the legal representatives of the Public Protector's Office before you took office to oppose the interdict of the release of the interim report, that brief should stay as is. There must not be changes. Let us go to court on the 1st of November and oppose the attempts by Van Rooyen and Mr. Jacob Zuma to stop the release of the report. Let that report come out, because there is a judicial review recourse which they have. I think the Constitutional Court was categorically clear in terms of what are the mechanisms that they can engage in if they are not satisfied with the findings and the remedial actions that are found by the Public Protector. There's unanimity, because I know that the ANC issued a statement saying that there must be the release of the Public Protector report. I know the DA is part of the court to say that the report must be released as soon as possible. The EFF was the first to oppose Van Rooyen. The UDM, COPE, well, I don't know about the party of, what is the name of the party? Of Zanele Gamogwaza Mzipho. What is the name of the party? NFP, yes. And the IFP. So, but I'm sure in principle they agree, all of them. So there's unanimity amongst public representatives, because we're here, all of us, that report should be released. So we have to release that report, and those that are affected and they think that they've not been treated fairly have got an option of judicial review. We must continue to save all the political parties. The Secretary General of the ANC says that the outgone Public Protector saved the ANC from itself. I don't know if it's saved. So there might be people who will say, yeah, that no, hey, don't release the report, don't listen to anyone and all those things there. Because they want to expedite the inevitable self-destruction of their own organization. That report must come out, and then there will be a judicial review afterward. But otherwise, we wish you well, and we do not treat you with suspicion. We'll deal with and interact with you based on your judgments and criticize you fairly and consistently in terms of our disagreements with you. It's not true that this committee never used to mistreat the previous Public Protector. It used to do that, led by the chairperson. He used to abuse her. He used to mistreat her. He used to interrupt her when she's speaking. He used to speak bad of her. And the members of the ANC used to call her a CIA agent, ministers, all sorts of things used to happen to the previous Public Protector. We're not going to do that to you. We never did that to anyone. We will engage with you based on what you present and the judgments that you make. Thank you very much.
That this is not a forum for public political games. Honorable Bongo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chair. Congratulations, Advocate Mkhwebane, for your appointment as the new Public Protector. But my congratulations goes with two issues. One is that there was a widespread allegation that we are a spy, and I take it that it is an attack on your person. I think you may have to really comment about that, because it's a very serious matter which was raised by some members of the committee. And secondly was its issues around Advocate Malunga. When we were interviewing for the position of the Public Protector, a lot of issues arose. which borders around the fit and properness to hold office. So I just want you to give us a roadmap on how you want to deal with these two issues. What is an action plan? Because the public is very much interested in knowing about these two issues. I agree with the colleagues from the NFP about the issue of donor funding. But it's a matter that we have raised, Chair, very sharply with the previous public protector, that this issue of donor funding, we must be critical. At worst, if you feel that there must be this donor funding, at least provide some policy framework within which we must know how is this thing going to work. Otherwise, we did not approve of this the donor funding issue. One other matter is that I think I've seen something very much unprecedented, Chair, that the previous public protector had to work until 5 to 12 on the 14th. So I want to know what kind of a handover, because I think it is like an acceptable norm in cooperative governance that if you know that you are leaving next month, you must start to prepare a proper handover to the incumbent, so that you don't find yourself taking reports to Parliament when you are supposed to give reports to the new incumbent, because that is an institution. It does not belong to individuals. One other matter, Chair, I think on what Honorable Shibambo has raised about that some of the members had said the former public protector is a CIA agent. I think we have not said so, but what is important for this office, for the new public protector, public protector's office must not be itself inviting some of these comments by the public until they call you CIA spies and so on, if there are people who said so. You invite those things by doing what? If you say you are investigating, you start with a heading of your report, you say state capture. You create a serious sensation to the community of the Republic that something is wrong. But this institution is composed of lawyers. Lawyers know that when you speak about the state, you speak about the judiciary, the executive, and the legislature in totality that constitute the state. So if we are just investigating one arm or an executive, then you come tell the public that state capture, and everyone is scared in the Republic that, hey, this thing is too big. It may be a problem that it's a problem. So we've got to find a way of how to deal with these issues, because you are then inviting members of the public who understand what is the state, to start to comment and give other comments that may be right or wrong. One other matter around this issue of state capture, I want you to tell us, because I see they're saying everyone wants the report and so on. The entire public wants to see the report because the sensation was created around the report. But I have an information that this report was not prepared by the Office of the Public Protector. It was prepared by a consultant. So I want you to assure and speak to the public and tell them who exactly prepared this report and what is happening around this report, because linked to this report is the issue raised by Auditor General on issues of irregular expenditure in this office. The irregular expenditure of 5.5 million, Chair, it's around outsourcing to consultants, giving them work without proper procedure to follow in terms of the PFMA. The 5.5 million speaks to these appointments that when there is a report, you just call anyone to say, just investigate. You don't follow a proper procedure. That is the 5.5 million that we're speaking about. So before the report is released, I think the public protector must be able to tell us who is the consultant that prepared the report. And is that consultant vetted? Because we must be very careful here where we're going to bring in consultant to run with issues that are very serious of the state when they themselves are not vetted. Where do you source them from? And the auditor tells you that we are not even following the procedure. We are not following the procedure. So, Chairperson, one other matter which we must just get clear about, I don't see it in the annual report. There was a recommendation that the car which was crashed by the child of the former public protector must be paid for. So, can you address us on how is it going to be paid? Is it going to be paid by the pensions, or is there any arrangement that she has entered into to pay for that particular car? Because that is state resources. I'm also worried, Chair, about the issue of the overlaps, which is issue that we have raised over time. We have raised the issue of overlaps over time. The overlaps goes with the fact that if you get the case, I see here in the annual report, there's a case of 2014 which is not yet concluded. But when the case comes yesterday, you start with that case of yesterday. What about that case of 2014? What about all these cases? Because we're having 4,251 cases that are being carried over. What is the status? What is the status of this report? The status of these cases. And last week, Chair, I was part of an interview for Human Rights Commission. A candidate came in front of the committee, and that candidate said it works for the Office of the Public Protector. But that candidate is a lecturer in Durban, full-time lecturer in Durban, but she works for the Office of the Public Protector. And she said she's working in the Office of the Public Protector for 12 months. And she's the one who's preparing the report, if my memory still serves me well. I just want to know what that post, is it funded? And what are those arrangements where you get source-in lecturers to come and work and do reports? Is it on the basis of these funded posts that are before us, or in the office you just appoint? I think I will be interested to take that matter up from the interview, Chairperson last week. I think I'll pause there for now, Chair. I'll come back.
Thank you, Honorable Chairperson, honorable members, Public Protector, DPP, Deputy Public Protector, your team and provincial heads, media, and everyone present here. Chairperson, let me start by thanking and welcoming the PP for her maiden speech. And again, as Honorable Maila has alluded to, the issue of sharing with us the observation, especially in terms of good practices that you might have observed when undertaking this, especially Namibian and Singapore one. And I would like to thank you, PP, for an undertaking that you have put a moratorium on these international trips. You know, for the past 2 years, it has been a trend for the Office of Public Protector to take international trips, and it has been a worrying factor to some of us. So thank you for that. And again, for bringing provincial heads, it is for the first time that we are seeing this happening. Because issues which some of us may raise, especially in regard to poor infrastructure. Head of Limpopo, who's that? Yes. That office there in Landros Mare, PP, is not right. He knows the reception or what's happening. The son just gets in and, you know, at reception, You can't. After 12, the receptionists have to leave or do something, hide somewhere. Secondly, no ablution facilities downstairs. Community members come, complain while busy with consultations. You know, call of nature come anytime. So poor people have to go upstairs now and then. No telephones. So, you know, that need to be attended to. I'm citing Limpopo office because I normally do my oversight there and you normally don't see me. And again, low staff morale. It's true. The staff morale, especially where I do oversight in Limpopo, Landros Mare office, is very, very low. The OCD non-implementation since, 2008, is very, very low. And this issue of everything being controlled from Pretoria, Hillcrest. There is an emergency. Poor investigators are supposed to go to RDP, Mankweng. They have to write a request to Hillcrest, Pretoria, for authorization. That is not right. That is not acceptable. And eventually, poor investigators will get into the car of the complainant, and it's risky because should anything happen, the head office and compensation commissioner will not take the fact that poor investigator was performing official duties. It's very risky. So take that into consideration. The staff morale is very low. It's true. Other issue which has been raised by my colleagues, particularly Honorable Bongo and Honorable Mwabe, donor funding. The issue has been raised with Advocate Thuli Madonsela, the previous former PP, that in most cases, I remember even during interviews, Honorable Shibambo did raise it. This issue of donor funding normally comes with conditions, a certain agenda. So I fully agree with my colleagues that it is not right. You should really look into this sort of funding model or issue of donor funding, especially with US aid. Please reconsider that. You know, as an CFO, you say 5.5 million is, what did you say in your own words? It's not material, it's not significant. That's what you said. Let's say in a municipality, there has been a tender irregularity of 5.5. Are you not going to investigate that? Is that not material? Is that not material? You know, taxpayers' money should be treated with caution. People are working for this money. So if you come here from an integrity institution and you say 5.5 is not material, what message are you sending to the people, to the nation, to the people who are watching this channel now? 5.5 as is zero, man. Is it what you are saying? No, but he was overemphasizing, Chairperson. This is not material. You know, I was even watching his gestures here. It's not material. I said, really? Huh? So, as an integrity institution, PP, and your team, you know, is it yesterday, SIU, Special Investigating Unit, they appeared before us. We're telling them, from you SIU and Public Protectors South Africa, we are expecting clean audits, no manga. Clean audits, because you are an integrity institution. You said what? You said preach what you do. Practice what you teach. That's what we're expecting from you. We don't want to find anything mischievous. Clean audits, non-negotiable. You, as one member, I don't know whether it's Honorable Horn or Swart, said, even in 2014, 2015, you said you are moving towards clean audits. But you are not yet there. Something should be done. You are an integrity institution. You should lead by example. This is the Public Protector's Office. Really should see all those positive things in you. When you say to SOEs, when you say to the government departments or municipalities, hey, you guys, you are not complying, they should, they should not have reservations to say, oh, but I'll comply, but that's not what we want. Your outreach program, 200 clinics, that's very commendable, but there is an underspending of 505,000. So and this program is not sufficient adequately. The allocation which you normally give to it is not sufficient. Now I'm a bit concerned because you have this underspending of 505,000. This is really unacceptable. And then your IT security also is a very serious concern. It needs improvement. We used to tell Advocate Tuluma Donzela that your IT regime is not up to scratch. Your office, PP's office, is fond of double headers. Last time, CFO, CO resigned. Now, 2 senior managers in financial management, in senior management positions, resigned. What's happening? Something is fishy there. The staff morale. So look into that. I was happy in your maiden speech, PP. You said our employees are our assets. That's what you said. So, what's happening really in that office? 28 resignations. Normally you used to have 320 something employees. Now, because of these resignations, it's now 294. And remember, the organogram is plus minus 500. Funded is that 3 plus minus 300 and something. So you see, it means the office won't be able to deliver in terms of the constitution and the founding legislation. And last time when we had a consultation with your predecessor, there was immediately after, I think it's this year, the Constitutional Court judgment, there was this issue of proposing that there should be reviewal of the founding legislation, which is the Public Protector Act. So that should also be taken into consideration. Chairperson, on the issue of, I won't comment much on the so-called state capture because we know that there is...
Can I just raise something before you proceed?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
We have to miss a tea break. because at 12 we have another meeting.
Oh,
And,
she's the last
and I
one.
guess everybody wants to hear the responses from the...
The last one.
I was saying that with due respect to our country's laws, we will not say a thing on so-called state capture, because I think as members we should respect the laws of the country, the sub judice rule and so forth. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you, Chairperson. Let me also welcome the report of the Office of the Public Protector, and to congratulate you, Advocate Mukhwebane, for your appointment. We hope that you're really going to manage to find your work easy to do. And also to congratulate the outgoing Public Protector in absentia. She has actually managed to do the work accordingly. There may have been this and that that's being said unnecessarily, but the fact of the matter is we have managed to successfully have somebody occupying that office up to the very last minute, carrying out the mandate in terms of the act that has been developed by South Africa. What I want to actually also comment about is the whole issue of freedom of speech. To say that freedom of speech is there to actually give people a voice that's supposed to create peace and development. Otherwise, the whole thing of freedom of speech becomes useless. But for us South Africans, lately when you listen to us speak, that freedom of speech or expression is actually turning into utilizing public platforms for baseless allegations and accusations, for provocation. And one actually asks oneself the question, how is it really this helping South Africans? Because all of us in this room are leaders. There's a nation that is looking up to us for guidance. And I think if we take ourselves serious in a manner in which we communicate, it should be such that we send a clear message to South Africans that they've got leaders. It's just food for thought, Advocate Mukhwebane, as you come into the office. Because I think even yourself, you're going to find that you're being used as an instrument of this that I'm talking about. Because for us, we are not in the business of persuading you or convincing you as to how you should do your work. You have been appointed because of the ability, the integrity, and the rest that you have displayed. So we must trust in you. You can't come here to this forum and find that almost what you hear is instructions. You go and do this, you go and do that. You must actually make it a point that that and that is actually giving proper attention. Why have you been appointed if you can't actually manage to exercise your own thinking? We want to encourage you to go into the office confidently, knowing that you're capable of doing your work, and really at all times remembering the mandate, because you're there to go and carry out the mandate. And of course, like it was said earlier, this office is not an office that was about just the one person. It's an office made up of a team. We shouldn't talk like one person is gone and therefore the office is not going to know what to do. With the team, you will continue where the previous public protector has actually left. Honorable Bongo has actually raised an issue that questions some of the monies that were supposed to be paid by the public protector. And I'm thinking in terms of page 94 of the annual report on financial statements, it says that the public protector is entitled to a taxable lump sum gratuity on vacation of office as stated in the Judge's Handbook. The public protector's term of office is fixed term of 7 years. The term of office of the current public protector will expire on the 15th of October. So what I'm thinking is that somehow finance, you're busy working out those sums. What you need to do is to look at all liabilities so that the liabilities can be addressed before a payout is made. I think then we will be in the position to nicely close this matter so that we don't keep on coming here and talk about things that are not really going to be helping us to move forward. In terms of the issue of consultants, I've actually seen that when it comes to the expenditure of the financial statements 15-16, there is 7 million that has been spent on consultants, and I think it follows through to the argument that was actually put forward before, to say that we should actually be careful about using consultants. And we're not only saying this to you, CFO, we say it to all the entities that come here. We have a history of the SIU that at some stage was actually operated on consultants. And we said, no, we can't. How do you make consultant to account to you? Because consultants are never going to come into this room for us to be in the position to make them to account. So, and also on the other hand, when you come to us, you tell us you have so many positions within the office. Are you telling us that the people that you hire are not in the position to do the work? Because whoever is actually employed should be in the position to deliver. They can't deliver through consultants. Then what actually happens to these people that you're actually hiring? Because now what we are grappling with is the whole issue of the number of positions that we have actually identified. And the fact that you have not been in the position to occupy all of those positions because of lack of funding, which is something that we need to look at. But at the same time, I think what is also important, Advocate Mukhwebane, as you come in, is to do a skills audit. Because, you know, sometimes you can have so many positions that are available, and you find that they can't deliver, and this is why you've got to go and get consultants, because of the fact that maybe the skills do not match the work that is at hand that needs to be done. So one area that you actually need to look at is the whole issue of skills audit. About the lease, I think it's very important. I heard that there's one province that is being threatened with closing the office. What we've been preaching is that we need to try and move away from leasing buildings. It gets expensive. The Office of the Chief Justice was here yesterday, and when we asked them how much is the rental per day, per month, it's as if it goes into between 1 and 2 million. Why don't you take the money and buy your own offices? Because then there will be a history of you being threatened to vacate offices because you can't afford the lease anymore. Please look into it, Advocate Mukhwebane, as you get into the office. With the mobile clinics, when the concept was introduced by the public protector, what we said it's a beautiful concept. But what we suggested as the committee at the time was that, you know, we must move away from operating in silos when we are running one government or one state. And then we were suggesting that maybe these mobile clinics should be like a one-stop service station, because they'll be moving all over in the provinces, going to the people. There is a forum for institutions supporting democracy. We said let the concept be taken to the forum for institutions supporting democracy, so that all the other Chapter 9 institutions, South African Human Rights Commission, Commission on Gender Equality, Commission on Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Rights, can look at also a possibility of using the same vehicle with you. In that way, it will make the exercise to be possible. It will make the exercise to be something that's really going to manage to give maximum benefit to South Africans. Because I can see with you're requesting for additional funding, I don't even know how much was actually requested initially, if the budget has actually provided something, which is what you can actually also clarify, CFO. Because I'm talking about this mobile clinic because it's something that came out of additional requests for funding. You talked about the crashed case management system, and you're requesting additional funding of 5 million. What was budgeted for? And how much is the total case management system that you're actually requesting additional funding for? I think if you can just clarify that, it will really assist. If you can actually also, Advocate Mukhwebane, as you come into the office, request for benchmarking visits reports, which we will want to share with you, because we need to actually know as to whether these visits have actually benefited your office, what we can learn from it together. We can do it together so that we can be in the position to share ideas. Because quite evidently from the report on spending, it's a lot of money that was actually spent on all of these trips internationally in the name of benchmarking visits. Thank you, Chair.